Here I want to cover the importance of a beginner's mind. Beginner's mind, beginner's mentality. Fresh mentality, fresh mind. Is a state of mind, is a mindset, even more so. But it's a way of being and a quality, a learner's mind. You're always open to learn something new. You're always learning and absorbing and open to things as if you're a beginner. No matter what level of mastery you have reached. Now, this concept is covered in many different books and a lot of people talk about it. And I think some of us maybe, or even a lot of us maybe, got to that intuitively, that it makes sense, that it seems to yield results. Now, simple example, whenever you started learning a new skill, that could be playing a guitar, piano, writing, cycling, or maybe martial art or something. You're new, you're fresh, you're like, oh, I don't know, I'm ready to learn, tell me. And you're learning from everyone. If you come to a martial arts class and you're learning jiu-jitsu, you learned one move and you're kind of happy with it, and then you go and spar with someone and they say, oh, by the way, you can do this, and then another guy tells you can do this, and you're always open and learning. You're like, oh, how do I deal with that? You're asking questions. You're not ashamed of asking questions. If you're a good beginner, if you're a good learner, you're not scared to ask questions. You're not scared to look stupid because, hey, I'm a beginner. Who cares? I just need to learn. That mindset, that freshness, that almost youthful excitement and energy and desire to learn is what's going to drive you forward everywhere in life. And keeping that and maintaining that throughout mastery of a skill is essential. And is a little bit tricky for some people because as you get better in a skill, in an area, an ego starts to build up a little bit. And you start thinking, well, I'm good at this. I don't need to be taking advice or notes or recommendations from that person or that person. They don't know anything. And often we can get stuck and stop learning like that. We don't want to take advice and recommendations from new people. And hey, sometimes somebody might not have the best advice, but having a fresh and learner's mentality, you'll be able to find out, well, why do you say that? What makes you think this way? What makes you say these things? As I'm saying that, I'm looking back at past week and I can see conversations where I haven't been being in the learner's mindset, in the beginner's mindset. And I've disqualified opinions and thoughts of people just because I don't think they know enough of the subject to even have this conversation with me. And I completely disqualified their opinion. Even though maybe there was an opportunity to discover something that I haven't seen before. To actually look deeper into the subject and see whether my opinion or information I got from one source or from two sources or from three sources is correct and verify it against something else. And then make even a more accurate judgment of that. All of us build egos. All of us build arrogance that we call confidence, when in fact is arrogance. Confidence is certainty in your ability to do something. Arrogance is an attitude, is dismissive, disqualifying, competitive, actually, and really develops there to hide insecurity, a deeply rooted concern, a fear of not being good enough, a feeling of not being good enough, a fear that you will not be good enough in the specific situation. Arrogance helps to max that. But yes, a learner's mind. Approach everything freshly, approach everything newly. Approach tasks, challenges, even if done many times before, with a fresh beginner's mindset, and you'll be able to see things you haven't been able to see before. It's almost like being engaged constantly, like a hunter in a forest. You're always looking for new things. This way of being is actually natural for us. It's actually our natural way of being. This way we can exist as a society, and our communication is going to be so much smoother. When people get into area of social skills as a beginner and they start developing, if they persevere and if they got the right guidance, which could be just videos on YouTube or a course or obviously better a coach, they quickly progress, and within maybe 6 months or 12 months, they're already to a degree unrecognizable to their former self. They wouldn't be able to recognize themselves, or they look at themselves 12 months back and thinking, whoa, I cannot believe that was me. As you get more social success, as you get invited to more exclusive events, parties, nicer apartments, boats, yachts, maybe you get driven in some nice cars. It's very easy to pick up on arrogance. It's very easy to start thinking that you're better than others, that you're better than someone else who you can see who's in your previous 12 months ago shoes. Somebody who's just like you 12 months ago, standing there, helpless, shy. They cannot say what they want to say. They cannot come up to the person they want to speak with. They cannot do what they want to do, really, because they're paralyzed by fear, by anxiety, by insecurities. And you're there, and you dealt with some of them. You dealt with some of your fears. You dealt with some of your insecurities. You changed your style. You know what to say. You got a little bit wittier, a little bit funnier, a little bit more confident, a little bit more cocky, yada, yada, yada. And you can start developing arrogance and thinking that you're better than those people. This is when you stop being in the beginner's mindset. This is when you stop being a learner. And very, very often, what happens is you get into the field, you have some sort of self-image, you try to protect it. You have to break it in order to grow in this field. So you go and you're like, okay, I'm ready, break it. I'm a nobody, I'm creating myself again. All this pain, all these uncomfortable conversations, rejections, anxiety coming up, fears coming up. Then you see that a lot of them are unreal, and you're able to deal with some situations that seemed very difficult or scary before. You get that new level of confidence, you restructure your ego, and now, oh, I'm a confident person, I actually can, I'm capable, I'm very capable. And then this is when you went on a level, you leveled up. You have leveled up. You're one level above of where you were. You almost create a new ego, and then you start hanging out with people who maybe already have a bit of attitude, and you think that you also need to have that to be able to be around them, and then you start creating that personality based on that ego, and kind of adding on those little arrogancy tricks and tips and behaviors and whatnot, and you create your whole new personality like that. This is unfortunate, but that stops and hinders your growth. It stops you from developing and ascending even further into a completely even more powerful, magnanimous, generous person. With a learner's mindset, you have these little breaks and constructions again and again and again. You keep having them. They're probably going to be a little bit smaller because you're a learner mindset. Then you recognize you're not being a learner again, so you break that, and then you go again. You break that, and you go again. You have these small little explosions, small little bursts, small little ego deaths, and then new restructures as you keep going, and you recognize yourself as a newer person. And maybe at some point it stops this process, and you just keep ascending with your capability, with your vibration, with your power further up. I've seen a lot of people, maybe they have 1 or 2 breaks, 3, and then they crystallize themselves as that person. And for most of guys, it's often a jaded, dismissive, a little bit of a jerk, a little bit of an asshole type of a person. Confident, obviously, from a place of ego, still fragile, but layered with an armor of arrogance and opinions about certain people and how people should be and how men and women should be and they're not, and yada yada yada. And so they exist like that. And everything they learn, all the new skills, are just like little additions to their level. So it's not that they ascend on their level of power, is that they just become better at operating at this level. They become a master of that level of power, of vibration, of level of social skill. They become a master. They know all the ins and outs. But their behavior is more mechanical. And yet, if they spend long enough time within that, it becomes natural. It's mechanical at first, and then it becomes natural as they stop mimicking people and integrate these things. But if they live life authentically, at least to some degree, this will collapse and shatter again. It will shatter again, and all of these learned skills disappear, and it's almost like they're powerless and empty again, and they only have to rely on their authentic self. And it's like they're empty without any weapons. All of the swords and guns and bazookas and pistols disappear. Now they're empty-handed again in a close combat of martial arts, of social skills. And they can't, and they don't know what to do, because they're not used to that. They're not used to being authentic. They're not used to their ego being broken. They're not used to a beginner's mindset. So this is why I say this is a crucial thing to have. This is one of the most important things to develop, and to not even to develop, but to keep alive, to keep present, to keep in your being as a way of being, to keep in existence. There's really nothing to learn about learner's mindset. It just is a learner's mindset. You just be a learner all the time. And just how do you do that? What habits, what tips, what conversations do you need to have? And it's often probably conversations that you have with your friends, with the people close to you that will keep you present in that. And it's important for them to be of the same mindset, to understand the benefit of it. So, if you want to inspire them to have that, share this video with them. Share other resources you find about it. There are books and maybe chapters in books about that. Maybe some quotes, maybe some other videos, some other resources. Share that with them, so you both, all of your group, all of your family, stay in that, and that's gonna keep you. That's what's gonna keep you winning in life, in your journey of mastery of anything, including social skills. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, click bell notification, comment, share the video with your friend, and I'll see you next time.